Hey, what is up guys? We're back at the shop. As you can see, the Golf behind me has had some time to dry with the primer. So yeah, it was a public holiday, so it stood for a good 2 days before I've tackled it now. And then this morning I've started having a go at the back corner over here where I replaced the rear fender. So I've sanded it down on this section here, and it's starting to look pretty good. Obviously the roof would need to be sanded still, and I went around the back here and just did the hatch a bit and the corner. So I'm going to use a little bit of YouTube magic to finish it up. Obviously the replacement door is all fitted and the gaps are looking good. I still have to go fetch the front fenders, but all the little small dents have all been filled up and primered, so the car's starting to look straight. But yeah, all of this will need to get sanded. I'll do a quick time lapse just to show you guys how I block it down and get the guide coat to help me get to the point that I know that it's flat. But then, like I said, it'll probably end up taking about a good 2 days to flat this thing down and get it ready for the exterior paint work. In the interim, I'm going to obviously block the whole car down, but I've already sanded down the inner jamb at the rear fender by the boot lid as well as by the back door. So I'll spray the jambs in, and then I'll also spray the bottom side of the bonnet. If I open it here and you guys can have a look, it's still obviously white and dirty from the last car that it was on because it is a second-hand unit. So anyway, that'll get cleaned, then sanded and sprayed obviously green. And then the driver's door, as you can see here, is white, so it'll need to be replaced. I'll have to strip all the stuff out and then spray the inside, get the rubbers out, get the mechanisms and windows and mirror adjusters and all that out. And once that's all done, then it'll be ready to paint. So yeah, that'll be the plan of action now. So if you guys find any interesting cars you'd like to see me work on, let me know. Let me see if I can find it on the auction. Obviously it all depends on what's available on auction. So I mean, I quite like the BMs and the VWs, so the German made stuff. Quite enjoy working on those things, so yeah, I tend to stick to those. But if there's something interesting, let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll see if I can find it on auction. But anyhow, anyway, let me get cracking on this one. A bit of an update here. I've done a bit of blocking the car down, got the fender flat and whatnot. I haven't gone inside the groove here yet because I'm gonna cut in the fender now, and obviously I'll get a bit of overspray on the panel. So when I clean that up for final coat on the outside, then I'll go ahead and sort this out and this stuff down here. But for the moment, I'm just going to cut in this panel. So I'm going to spray down this section here, and obviously the inner section here, and then down to where I repaired here by the light. And then open the door here. Obviously I trimmed through here and joined the fender on this sort of area here. So all this section here was replaced, and then trimmed it through this section up here. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I've cut in the door jambs up through there, and then on the back side where the tailgate closes, that section through there, and then down to where the light fits in. So yeah, that's all done there with color. And then I've got to go ahead and get some clear on the bottom side of the bonnet and the inside of the driver's door over there. So that's what I'm going to get cracking with now, and then yeah, call it a day. Okay, there she is guys. As you can see, I've already fitted the bonnet back on. The driver's door is painted on the inside over here, so they must just get fitted. Let's just have a look under the bonnet. Okay. So as you can see there, the bonnet's painted on the underside. I've already put the windscreen washer fluid line in. Obviously, once I spray the top, I'll put the little nozzle in the top, so that can just dangle there for now. Anyway, and this side we need to have a look at. So yeah, there's a bit of overspray around the edges, but that's fine. I'll block that down now for when the outside gets painted. But yeah, there we go. So this lining here now needs to be glued back in. So that's what I've just run off to go get. Then we can obviously put the trim and everything back and get it looking a bit neater. Get the bumper out of there, wet sand that so that it can be painted. Front bumper's lying in the shop. Need to obviously wet sand that as well. And start getting everything ready to get down to the spray booth. And see the doors closing. And the gap's obviously looking a lot smaller now that it's not white on the inside. Obviously when it's white, it makes the gap look bigger. I mean, if you look up here as well, the gap also doesn't look too bad now that it's painted in. So yeah, and then I also just sprayed around the inside here where I did the welding. So yeah, getting there slowly. Whole bunch of sanding. What I was thinking of doing is I haven't filmed much of the sanding, but I was thinking I'll show you guys what I use the guide coat for. So basically, I sprayed the guide coat, and you can see this section here I've sanded down and it's nice and smooth. This section here with the guide coat on is still very textured, and this section over here I've just run over ever so slightly. So you can see basically the spots that are still red are obviously the low spots, which indicates that you need to keep on sanding until you get to this point that there's no red. But what I'll do now is I'll set up the camera and then maybe I'll just do this section or a small section here and show you guys how I use the guide coat to get the best possible finish when it actually gets painted. Because that's what the one point that everyone forgets about spray painting. It's 80% preparation, 20% actual spraying. You know, you can have the best preparation and a half decent spray job and the car will look good. You can have the best spray painter in the world, but the preparation isn't done correctly, the end result will look horrid. So the idea is, you know, take your time on the preparation, get the preparation right, and spray the car obviously well, and then it'll look good. It'll look OEM. You know, if you're going to cut corners on any of those, I mean, obviously, if you cut corners on preparation, it's going to give you the worst result. But yeah, if you do it properly, it'll look OEM. Anyway, let me get the sandpaper and get cracking here. Okay, guys, so a bit of an update. I've sanded most of the roof here, wet sanded it. I've left this little piece here just to show you guys basically what happens. So as you can see on the, like I showed you earlier, it fades out on the sides here. So if you look really closely, you can still see some red dots there, which means it needs to be done a bit more. So I'm going to time lapse this section and show you guys what it entails, so that obviously you can just try to get the best possible finish on the car when you paint it. So, yeah. Okay guys, there you have it. It's flatted out. There's one little crater there which I'll have to use some microfine filler on. So that'll get that little red dot that you can see there. It hasn't come out. It's still a little bit damp because my cloth's a bit damp, but yeah. So anyway, so that's like spots like that, we'll use some microfine filler. There's one or two. There's one back here. There's another one up the front here. So we'll use some microfine, another one over there. So I'll use some microfine filler, or glaze as they call it, to sort those out. And that stuff's pretty cool. You can just flat it down and spray straight over it, which is pretty nice. You don't have to primer on it. So yeah, anyway, guys, back at the workshop today, and like I said before, I'm going to weld in some plates on the little spot of rust. So I've gone ahead and done that and ground it down. Going to hit it with some body filler now, sort that out. And then also down at the back side over here, also popped the rear screen, and then there was a little rust hole over here. So again, plate in there, and now ready for filler. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera and get the fillers and stuff sorted. That way I can do the primer, and then for the most part we're ready to go to the panel shop. Hey guys, bit of an update. Got the filler work finished up here where I welded the plate, and a little bit of spot down here was a small dent. And then moving along to the back of the car, finish that up there, so that's all nice and smooth. And there was one other little spot just under here. There's also a bit of a slight dent, so just finish that up on there as well. So I'm just going to shoot it with and then I managed to drop the bonnet when I sprayed the inside of it, so I put another dent in the front here. So anyway, I've just filled that up now. I'm just going to give that another spot of primer. So yeah, and then it can dry overnight. So yeah, I mean, I literally spent the whole day today just sanding down the filler work and the primer stuff, getting it ready to do the little touch-ups here now, and then yeah, it's pretty much ready to go to the paint shop. Okay guys, so I've just shot a coat of primer on the front here, on the nose of the bonnet, and then upper section here. Obviously that's where the rust hole was, so once it's got a bit of paint on it or primer, you actually can't even tell that it's been repaired, so that's pretty cool. Obviously once it's got paint on it, then we will look much better. And then obviously the little rust hole that was at the back here, that's all sorted there. And obviously there were scratch marks from the sandpaper running along here, obviously trying to get that curve and everything. So it was a much bigger section than what the rust hole actually was. But obviously to get it right, we need to do a fair big spread of repair work. So yeah, anyway, that's got primer on it there. And there were little bits of bare metal showing here and here, and there was a small dent over there. So just put some primer on there. I've actually still got some more in the gun. So anyway, what I'll do now is I will just shoot a guide coat. I've just got some black in the aerosol can here, so we'll just shoot a little guide coat here, and that will, like I explained previously, it just shows us the highs and low spots. So by tomorrow morning, the sun over there, by tomorrow morning when this stuff's all nicely hard dry, then we just shoot it with some 320 water paper, and then we're good. So yeah, that was that spot there, and then I just shot, there was a little bit of primer showing through there, and a couple of scratches in the paint that didn't quite cover on the first coat of primer. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna clean spray guns and stuff now, call it a night, let the stuff dry. I'll catch you guys back in the morning. Guys, so it's the next day. I let the primer and everything dry overnight. On my way in this morning, I went and I picked up some replacement fenders for the front of this car. So anyway, let's just get this unboxed here. So yeah, we've got some brand new pirate panels. So that solves the problem on the front of the car. And yeah, this stuff will just actually be sanded, wet sanded. Along with the primer that was sprayed yesterday. Take this old broken windscreen out, and then I popped the radiator back in before I sprayed the primer. So we've got the cooling system and everything working, so the car's able to be driven the 200-300 meters down to the spray booth. So that's the plan of action now, is sand the stuff down, get these fenders sanded down. We'll pop them on with like 2 bolts each, just so that they hang there. When they get to the paint shop, I'll probably spray these on a stand and not on the car, so they can spray the jams and stuff as well. But anyway, that's the plan of action. So I'm going to get flatting here and hopefully still get this thing to the booth today, if not today, tomorrow morning. Okay guys, a bit of an update. I finished with the flatting of the filler primer that I sprayed yesterday. Got the fenders unboxed as you saw. I'm going to pop them on here now, and once they're on the car, so I can flat them down. And then yeah, we're good to start stripping windows out of the doors and head down to the panel shop. So anyway, here goes. Okay guys, so the windows are all out. This thing's pretty much ready to head down to the paint shop and get into the booth and get painted. So I'll confirm with them tomorrow that we've still got a slot, and hopefully tomorrow morning we can get it down to the paint shop and they can make this thing green again. But yeah, it's actually getting to the point. I always feel like, you know, you work and you work and you work and you don't really see any progress until the car gets colour on it. So it's one of my favourite times of a rebuild is when the car gets painted. Obviously it starts to look like something again. Whereas now, I mean, you just see all these different colours. It's got black fenders, white bonnet, white door, primer everywhere else on the car, black rear bumper. You know, it really looks like a old rag. You know, So for me, it's one of the times that I really enjoy is once it gets painted, then you feel like you've accomplished something and you're actually getting somewhere. So anyway, but yeah, I'm going to call that episode here. It's getting a little bit long. So you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, and if you see anything that I'm doing that's a bit out of place, let me know in the comments. I always like the guys' feedback. And yeah, let's see what I can do better, in the next one. But anyway, like I said, we'll get to the paint shop and we'll see how that goes. So catch you guys in the next video.